5 seconds remaining. Radiant team's turn to ban. Dire team's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
Піди з лайну, розбійник. Піди з лайну, розбійник.
Don't give up, guys, don't give up.
Radiant team's turn to pick.
In the DPC, Nemiga just haven't been
Dire
looking like
team's turn to
themselves.
pick.
No, with how, I mean, I know it is a step up in terms of quality, but we saw them in Division 2 before TI, and I know the between that and now, but in Division 2 they were looking strong. They were, you know, the synergy between the team, they were looking great, playing as a unit. They were taking names
10
left,
seconds
right, and
remaining.
center, and it just seems to be in this first division here.
5
They've
seconds
just not
remaining.
looked up to the quality,
Dire
and maybe
team's
that's
turn
the
to
other
pick.
teams forcing them into this issue,
Radiant
but
team's turn to
yeah, they've
pick.
just not looked up to the quality that we're used to seeing here from Nemiga.
Yeah, there were some third-party tournaments as well where they did very well for themselves. So I was surprised at them not getting a single series going their way. Though, you know, they still have 2 series to play. Actually, 3 more series to play.
10 seconds
Scratch that,
left.
including
Decided?
this one, of course. So they have one against Navi and one against
5
one.
seconds remaining.
Out of the performances of those 2 teams, they are next to Nemiga, the weaker ones.
Radiant team's turn
And
to ban.
maybe they're gonna show us that they have what it takes. You know, if they beat one move, if they beat Navi, they're staying in. So we
Yeah, true.
don't really have to put them in the lower 2. We still don't know. Though I'm not the biggest fan of how they've been
10 seconds
approaching
remaining.
the drafts overall. We've always seen Nemiga as this ultra
5
aggressive
seconds
team,
remaining.
whereas now you see a Treant Protector, right? Is that an ultra aggressive hero? No, it's a tower defending hero. I like the opening, don't get me wrong, but some other teams have utilized these heroes a bit better. I do like that they do go for the Nature's Prophet. That is an aggressive hero. That is a hero that if Malrine gets one of his heroes that he's creating space with, he's always gonna have that +1 backup.
Yeah. Yeah, talking about it, I mean, you look at the table here, the Nemiga, if they can pull this out of the bag, they do step up to the plate with one move. And then all of a sudden that game on the 28th
Dire
between
team's
Nemiga and
turn
one
to
move,
ban.
that becomes a relegation battle there, because that will mean that at least one team, I
Radiant
mean,
team
Nemiga do
ban.
still have that game against Navi, but if one move lose that, it means they are only going to be going 1-6 in the season, which would put them in that relegation place. But again, BetBoom, if they win this, they do secure their place in the major, going 6-0. Not like the Western European regions, you know, not like the regions
10
that get
seconds
4
remaining.
spaces where they're fine with 5 wins. No, Eastern Europe has to
Dire
go all
team
the way
ban.
to 6. You know, they have to prove themselves. They have to show their mettle here to qualify.
Radiant team's
and
turn to ban.
it's still not safe. I mean, Hellraisers 4-2 Virtus Pro, they've still got 2 series to play. They could still step up over Hellraisers, so it's not all in the bag in Eastern Europe just yet.
Yep, it isn't. But overall, I think 5 wins is enough. I don't think that BetBoom are gonna be taking their foot off the gas. I don't think they should.
10
I
seconds
think this is
remaining.
the type of team that could lose one series and instantly a lot of things fall
5
apart
seconds
because they
remaining.
do seem invincible, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen them when they would lose a game in the 3rd game. Actually, they wouldn't look so great. So they would win, but it wouldn't be the stompy type of approach coming out from BetBoom. So in my mind, if I was this team, I would continue with the same trajectory. Of course, a loss will come at some point and you need to deal with it, but it's better to have something to fall back on in the back of your mind. Oh, we got first at the major or second or third, doesn't matter. At least you have some results that are gonna be justifying the initial hype around the team. So yeah, I do think BetBoom are going all out today. And from the Clockwork and the Lena, I mean, that the picks in the
team's
first
turn to
phase, they
ban.
definitely don't tell us otherwise.
No, and probably the
Dire team's turn to
over
pick.
all the regions, because I know Lena's not really been that impressive in
Radiant
Eastern
team's
Europe,
turn to pick.
but across all the regions, Lena
Щоб окріп
is the strongest position 1 at the minute, or the most popular position 1. Clockwork, one of the strongest, if not the strongest position 5 as well. And Hoodwink, we've seen BetBoom play this quite well. You know, the quality of the Hoodwink players coming out from BetBoom, again, that extra control, the setup here for the Lena as
10
well.
seconds remaining.
Especially if you have something like the Nature's Prophet before BKB, you know, tries
5
to get himself
seconds
out
remaining.
of it. The Sprout comes up that he's trying to TP in, you know, safety. Bushwhack comes through. All of a sudden, you've got a
Radiant
dead
team's turn
Nature's
to pick.
Prophet. And it's just BetBoom playing these heroes. They seem to be given the best heroes, or Nemiga are giving them the best heroes so far, or the strongest heroes that are being considered in the meta at the minute.
At least they are not ultra strong lane dominators that transition
10
into a
seconds
strong early
remaining.
mid game. I think those are the heroes that you should be afraid the most from BetBoom.
5
These are the
seconds
heroes that they're
remaining.
comfortable with, right? Toronto,
Yeah.
Tokyo, the Clockwork, I think, has been his best position. 5 save is a god on the Hoodwink. But the way that BetBoom have won their games, at least the ones that they looked most dominant on, you get early mid game, right? And in the early mid game, they overtake you. Here, you're gonna have that little spot, you know, between minute 7 and minute 11, 12, where your supports are lacking a little bit in the levels department, unless Nemiga make a mistake in the laning phase. But if everything goes according to plan, you have those 4 and 5 minutes in the early mid game when transitioning from the laning stage, you know, to the mid game, where you could actually punish them because the supports aren't as strong as they would like to be.
Yeah.
But we'll see if Nemiga can kind of find that little gap. And considering they have a
Dire
Nature's
King's turn
Prophet
to
and
pick.
a Bango, and Bango is a hero that Malrine likes to play and rotate with early, I think it's quite possible that they can slow down BetBoom.
Now, so we see the Pango coming out with the Undying. Is this going to be the off lane potentially, or do you want to be
10
throwing that
seconds
Pango in mid
remaining.
lane? Because I'm looking, I don't think I've seen, God, do we even play
5
the core
seconds
Undying
remaining.
here? For that Echo Saber Undying build in the off lane?
Doesn't make much sense against the Lina.
Yeah.
I don't know if an offlane Treant makes much sense. This is a weird one to me because you pick an Undying into a Lina. Lina deals well with the Tombstone. Has a lot of burst damage to kill the Undying. You have, if these are the two supports, but you have kind of two heroes who do the same thing, dominate the lane. Treant protects the tower a little bit longer, but they're both quite good at team fighting. None of them gives burst potential. So this is a very weird one
Radiant
coming
team
out from
ban.
Nemiga. I wasn't expecting an Undying, and I'm kind of hoping that this is some kind of a weird offlane, either a Treant or a Undying, or maybe what I wouldn't mind maybe is a carry Undying with an offlane Nature's Prophet. I don't know, but if these
10
two are
seconds
supports,
remaining.
I think they're gonna be in a lot of trouble because they have no ability to make plays.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I'm looking at BetBoom's lineup now because, I mean, Nemiga, they have 3
Dire team
melee heroes
ban.
coming into this as well. And like you say, they're going to be running at least
Radiant
one
team
lane
ban.
with what potentially looks like... No, the Pango could still be mid. The Pango, even up against the OD,
Yes.
could still be mid here. So they do have a chance to pick up another ranged hero. So, but yeah, running 3 melee heroes coming up into the OD, that's going to be really strong if they can get off a good Sanity's Eclipse. You know, the control coming out from the Astral Imprisonments as well.
10
Cogs setting
seconds
up for
remaining.
the LSAs, the Bushwhacks. BetBoom have a lot of initiation
5
from
seconds
range
remaining.
that Nemiga have to try and deal with. And
Nemiga have none. Nemiga
No,
have
no.
0
Dire team
initiation
ban.
from range. It's actually very weird.
Radiant team's turn to
I'm
pick.
very surprised that they would go for supports like this. It just doesn't seem like something they would do
yeah,
in the past. And they're not even that tanky now when you look at it. You have these heroes that have a lot of HP but very low armor, so the Lina rips them apart. And OD is very well known
10
about doing
seconds
overwhelming
remaining.
amount of damage that the strength heroes, the fat type of heroes, just melt. So
5 seconds remaining. Dire team's turn to pick.
I'm just not sure about what the Nemiga have went for, but they'll go for the CK. So it's gonna be an offlane Nature's Prophet, a mid Pango, I'm gonna guess, or maybe a mid Nature's Prophet and an offlane Pango. Maybe I would like that a little bit more considering it's an OD.
yeah.
But this gives a little bit of aggression to Nemiga.
10 seconds
Okay,
remaining.
I think what they're trying to do is just crush the laning phase and then
5
constantly
seconds
fight
remaining.
with the cores. Maybe that's the idea. Could be a good one if you're trying to counteract what BetBoom's lineup is doing.
What did BetBoom go for now, though, for Nightfall? I mean, they have played a lot. I mean, do you even put the OD in the offlane up against, pick up another mid laner here up against the Pango?
You go for something like a Dragon Knight.
Yeah.
Something that has higher armor, higher ability to survive. And Nightfall has been playing the Dragon Knight as I remember. I don't know if there's anything else. I'm not sure if I would necessarily like the Beastmaster, maybe.
Yeah, he's been playing the Dragon Knight, the Dawnbreaker as well. He's been playing a little bit, and what else? Yeah, I mean, taking a look because he has played a few. Yeah, so I think even a Primal Beast at one point as well.
Primal Beast wouldn't be bad because you're up against so many melee heroes. So, but it's banned out. Yeah, so that's,
Oh, it is. Yeah.
that's not gonna be happening. I think DK makes
Choose your hero.
most sense. Okay, Dawnbreaker. Okay, I'm fine with that too. You have so many tools to initiate and so many tools to counter initiate. Plus, you have a hero that is pretty good against melee heroes, and you're gonna be laning against 2 of them. Dragonite would maybe suffer against the Undying, but the Dawnbreaker does more damage, so that's probably the reason they went for it. You're gonna have a little bit less in terms of tower push, but that doesn't really matter against the Treant. You're still hunting for heroes you want to dive, and the Dawnbreaker allows you to do that.
Yeah, and I suppose as well, it's got that instant react. If any hero gets ganked by the Nature's Prophet TP in, you've got the instant solar guarding that can come in to react as well. So yeah, I do like that pickup. It's a little bit out of the bag.
10 seconds
but
remaining.
I do like the pickup on that Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, for sure.
5
I think
seconds remaining.
BetBoom have definitely set themselves up for success here.
Yeah. So guys, before we get ourselves into the first game of the first series, we're going to be taking a quick word from EGB, our sponsors. So this first series, we can see that again, BetBoom, they've got heroes that they are very comfortable on indeed. And Nemiga, Kiritich at least has this Chaos Knight. I know he likes to play this hero. Marion on the Pangolier as well, so he does have a lot of experience on that. But like you say, the BetBoom, they're looking the favorites. They're looking overwhelmingly the favorites coming into this game. And Nemiga, how do you think Nemiga are going to play around these lanes? And it does Vazi need to hit the quick levels, look to take down towers, and get. How do Nemiga? What can they do coming into this first game with their lineup?
I think for Nemiga, it's more about slowing down the enemies than advancing yourself. So we talked about that small gap when the supports of BetBoom are gonna be. And that is when you need a pretty decent lineup this time around. I wasn't sure about their support duo, but they compensated with the aggressive course that they got. But again, a lot of it is on Malrine. For me, if I'm BetBoom, I'm keeping my eye on Malrine. Where is he? What is he doing? Because what do we have here on Nemiga? What they're trying to do? Crush the lanes. Then when the enemies are super weak, because the lanes went really well for the side of Nemiga, Malrine is rotating around and he's getting kills, right? Yeah. That is their plan. The problem with these kind of plans is that your snowball can stop at some point or might not even start, and then you just lose the game. But I think this is right up Nemiga's alley. It's not, when you look at supports, not aggressive supports, but they will complement their cores in the later stages of the game when they start falling off. You have the supports who contribute a solid amount to a team fight.
30 seconds to battle.
Proper skacks.
Well, let's see what they can do. It doesn't look like anyone's contesting as well. You can see that Pure as well as Toronto Tokyo on the map. They're just keeping themselves safe in the top part, not coming in to try and get aggressive, which is, to me, it's surprising because the potential for a first blood on the side of BetBoom, with the the bushwhack, the Astral Imprisonment already being taken up to set up. Oh, but it might be Toronto Tokyo actually moving himself into the river. And Vazi, LSA is going to connect towards that bash shot to come through from Clockwork now as well onto the Nature's Prophet. And Vazi is going to be chased down. GPK, the bushwhack, it does connect. And it's going to be first blood. Yeah, after Imprisonment comes out, GPK going to be given the first blood over to the mid laner just to give him that little bit of an extra advantage to be able to get himself out with the first null talisman as well.
People always make a mistake going into a Lina Clockwork. I don't know. We've seen it a couple of times. I think I also see it in pubs from time to time when you're playing against the Lina, that's like a Marcy Clockwork or something along those lines. People tend to want to take that route with not investing enough numbers. Lina is squishy and not that strong early levels, at least until you get like level 3-4. But Clockwork is pretty nasty. BetBoom bring a couple of these heroes and suddenly the old D is looking really powerful. And this for me is a problem. I don't think you should allow GPK to be super strong this game, because if he is, then every Malrine rotation that is unsuccessful or not really successful successful a lot, you don't get a couple of kills from it, the OD will be getting massive, and then later on down the line, he just kills all of you. So this is pretty dangerous, if you ask me.
Yeah, and we know that the OD can be that lane winner, especially coming through with the Astral imprisonment, you know, being able to Astral up, get the denies onto the range creeps anytime Marine tries to come for them, you know, you secure the last hits as well. And you can see, well, actually Marine does get a deny off through GPK's Astral imprisonment.
What the hell are Save and So Bad doing? Yeah, they are, they're trying to find their spot in the world. They're like, I don't belong anywhere. Like, is anyone gonna let me have it and save? I don't even know where he's taking these creeps, but that's pretty interesting. And I think that Nightfall is gonna be happy that he's in a 1 versus 1 scenario.
Yeah, it's taken them into the mid lane. Okay, yeah, gonna go around the world on a tour here, and then Save just pulls the creeps too. So an extra little bit of farm, I guess, for the mid laners. You know, surprise, happy birthday, and here's your present, I guess.
Yeah, but look at it. Both of them will deny a creep wave each. No one is actually leeching that experience. Usually we see this on the side lanes, but this is actually quite nice. So I understand it. You want to get GPK super strong and you want to get Malrine super strong. In the end, they're just gonna be getting the same amount of waves, just waves a little bit more denies.
Yeah, and GPK even denies one of the water runes. You know, he doesn't take the extra 2 seconds to pick it up and back off. That would not be peak efficiency here. And GPK denying that water in the river. Meanwhile, in the top lane, how's Toronto Tokyo looking? LSA is going to connect, but Toronto Tokyo, he doesn't have the battery, so he has already used it, doesn't have the mana for it anyway. So it looks like... how are the trees doing as well? They are being cleared off around that tier 1 tower, but not around the lane patch where you do usually see them being cleared off.
Yeah, Vazia needs to have a presence of mind here in this top lane to just kill the trees that his teammate doesn't find useful. But yeah, one time he did take those down next to the tower, so I think his buddy is going to be regretting that quite a lot. A lot of tree taking abilities in this lane, to be honest.
Yep, I would say it's going to be over onto the trains. Hellscream, though, he does have the lead sheet down onto Pure, as well as a couple of bashes. Even the Nature's Grasp being used, and Pure just has to back himself away. Gets that Shard Tango off as well. Any regen coming in, it's just going to be the Falcon's Blade here for Pure. So he's going to be fine with that. Should regen up quite quickly with these tangos as well. And Vazia, has he got its teleportation and the train? So he doesn't have that sprout coming out just yet at level 3. Nature's Grass does go down. There's going to be the LSA onto the Nature's Prophet, though. Pure might actually go down here. And Vazia picks up the kill.
Very, very important. The lanes are doing well for Nemiga currently, and they should be very happy with it. Especially their safe lane, Kiritich is crushing it, even though Nightfall was in a 1 versus 1 for a long time. It just made sure that So Bad comes to the lane now, and he still has the mana. You know, there's that time on the lane, 4 or 5 minutes in, Undying loses all of his mangoes, no mana, he's useless, and then he dies. Well, not gonna happen in this lane. CK is pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah, Tombstone goes down. Nightfall trying to get himself away. He's using that Celestial Hammer, but the double Bushwhack comes through. Do they want to try and turn this around? They can't. There is no spells. And we get a pulse.
Yeah. You stopped there. You weren't sure. Like, why is the game freezing? Yeah, the game has been paused. We haven't got a reason just yet. So far, so good for Nemiga, and I like to see this because, you know, when you have a team that's seemingly unbeatable, you want to see some good spell usages from BetBoom in the bottom lane. The Dawnbreaker is starting to catch up.
Yeah, meanwhile, it looks like, you know, the mid lane GPK, he's looking to sort that net worth. He's getting himself up there. We're only about 4.5 minutes in. But he is trying to take over, you know, with the Astral. 3-point into that there as well. Bottom lane, though, you get that kill onto Kiritich, going a little bit too far. And the Bushwhack sets it from Save. He might pay with his life. Even the Creep just trying to do what damage he can over to Save. But it looks like Save for the minute with these stick charges. And we're in another pause, but that Bushwhack is a second away here. So bad. He could be in trouble. Celestial Hammer's going to be there as well for the Dawnbreaker to close the gap. 2 points into that, so bad. Can he get himself out? Well, we're about to find out. So bad. It might go so bad for him here. Bushwhack, it's going to connect. Having follow up, Celestial Hammer's going to come through. And Nightfall, he picks up that kill.
And we have action on the top lane as well, where Toronto Tokyo is losing his life currently, and Pure, there's absolutely nothing he can do to save it. So actually, action happening everywhere, but BetBoom should be more happy with how it went, right? Losing the Clockwork, getting 2 heroes in the bottom lane. That bottom lane is very important for Nemiga to go well, because it's an undying CK. Like, That is a very powerful lane, and suddenly both of them die, and Nightfall is neck and neck in terms of CS.
Yeah, and Pure as well has to watch out. I mean, so the Sprout trees are real trees, right? They're not like fake plastic trees. So if the Sprout comes out onto when the Nature's Grasp comes across it as well, that should proc the extra effects of the Nature's Grasp. So it's really hard, especially Toronto Tokyo being that melee hero that wants to come in, get the battery sort of, you know, defend his teammate as well. It's really hard to live in this lane. And you can see that Toronto Tokyo, he's already been punished for it a couple of times. Mid lane though, there might be a rotation, and the train's going to be here. Marine Bushwhack, he's going to be able to get the swashbuckle away. Marine getting himself towards the haste. There isn't going to be the Astral here in time to stop him from being able to bottle up and take that haste. So now, with 3 heroes here in the mid lane, GPK, there's going to be TV Vazia. He comes in with the Sprout. GPK drops that Sanity's Eclipse. There's even going to be the TV in from Nightfall now as well, but to get the kill onto GPK, immediately turn around. So bad will fall. Hellscream, can he get himself away from this one? Save, trying to do what he can, but has to run himself away from Marine. That Nature's Grasp is going to be dropped and save. Marine gets the kill, couldn't get himself away. No level 6, just, I mean, he's only level 3, nearly level 4, so no sharpshooter to get himself down to the low ground from that. And Marine just picks up the kill.
Dire snow fortified
for Nemiga now, considering that the lanes didn't go the best for them, they didn't go terribly, but they didn't go the best. Now it's about speed, about bringing your heroes together. So you get the supports to where the Pango is, and you're always going to have the help from the Nature's Grasp. Now it's the mid lane, but it could be in the side lanes as well. So Nemiga now they need speed. You saw that BetBoom, they even brought Nightfall there. I think when they saw the lineup of their enemies, they kind of came to a conclusion, we have to bring even more heroes if we are to defend towers, and for now they're going to be able to do so.
Yeah, and we'll see as well. I mean, Vazia with that 1 TP, only level 5, so he doesn't have an extra yet. He does want to be going towards the Shatter to come out to lower that cooldown, get that entangle off as well. But Hellscream moving up these treants. Pure's trying to do what he can to take these treants down here with a 1 point into the Dragon Slave. The right click's coming through as well. He's trying to clean these up, and he's going to get a couple of them as well. So a bit of bonus gold on the bottom lane though. But you want to try and make a move. Kiritich and so bad coming forwards. But yeah, it looks like there's not going to be a massive engagement, so Vazia on the top lane can just, you know, go back to free farming, and Hellscream is even looking for the stacks. This is going to be nice for the Pangolier to, I mean, doesn't even really need to do a whole lot of catching up. It's only about 700 gold behind, but those stacks are going to be nice here for the Pangolier. Toronto Tokyo, he drops the cogs. Nature's Grasp does come through here. There's going to be the Rolling Thunder as well. Toronto Tokyo, no, he cancels it off. Yeah, he's just keeping it in with the battery, so he's not going to be able to get it off there as GPK. It looks like he did get the Invis rune, but no real benefit from that. Just coming back in the lane to last hit.
Very nicely done there by Toronto Tokyo. He's slowly moving a little bit away, you know, and at some point you have to understand the OD is coming forward. There's going to be a defensive Astral, and you're not going to be able to do anything. Though I'm kind of surprised that Hellscream didn't come next to the Clockwork and was the one chasing him down, so that you allowed the Rolling Thunder to come through. That for me shows a little bit of miscommunication there on the Nemiga side, or maybe Hellscream was like, yo, Malrine, he is crazy. I'm not going to be following through with this idea.
Yeah, who's scared of the level 3 position 5 Clockwork? Well, but T1 Tower on the top lane, it's taking a lot of punishment coming through from these trains here, as well as the V-Tree and Vazia. Toronto Tokyo going to try and do his best, but Marine's already going to be hitting another Bushwhack. It cancels off, and now I think they're going to move down to Vazia. There's going to be a Solar Guardian coming through. Nightfall, LSA connects onto Marine. Is they going to try and go with the Laguna Blade? No mana on the Lina, but they do still get the kill. They take down the Tombstone now as well. And so bad Bushwhack, it's going to be the keeping them close, keeping them locked down, and keeping that kill fresh for Nightfall.
I was surprised already, like, why isn't so bad there? But then I saw him in the mid lane. Okay, he's trying to defend the tower, but then he TPs at the tail end of the fight where BetBoom have already done their thing, and this is, I have to say, this is a big problem for Nemiga, right? Because this isn't even the timing of BetBoom. You don't have level 6 on the Hoodwink, you don't have level 6 on the Clockwork, but considering that they're getting some nice kills and nice fights going their way, they're gonna have them at like 10-30, and then it becomes an issue.
Yeah, Marine finally gets off the Rolling Thunder, but the Astral going to keep Save alive. It's going to save for a little bit. Marine trying to adjust his track, and he will get the kill onto Save there. So does eventually get it off after just about 2 or 3 minutes to go for that Rolling Thunder, but now it's going to be down. Astral coming in, and so is Pure. Sanity's Eclipse is going to drop. LSA going to be timed just right, and they're going to be able to give the kill over to Pure. Even the living armor not going to be enough to save the life of the Pangolier, and Pure picks that one up.
The thing is that Nemiga,
Leading
their
on Dire's
lineup
top
wouldn't
tower.
like for the game to slow
Dire's
down.
top tower
Right?
has
Well, what's gonna
fallen.
happen if it slows down? The Lina is gonna be taking overwhelming amounts of farm, and you won't get the map kind of small enough for BetBoom not to be able to farm on the Lina and eventually win the game. So this to me is an issue because it looks like Nemiga, they can't really fight now. They're gonna have to bring in Kiritich. I think that's kind of the last resort. Kiritich is probably gonna be farming with this, maybe the next Phantasm, but from like minute 14, 15, if he's not readily available to fight
Radiant's
and
bottom
ready to
tower's
burst
got
these heroes down,
problems.
Nemiga are just gonna be slowly losing the game.
Yeah, and in the mid lane, another Astral out onto
Not
Sobad,
much
but
good's happening
does
to
he want to
Radiant's
push him
bottom
here,
tower.
GPK? Doesn't look like it. GPK actually goes for that first item blink. Marine's in the lane now as well. GPK though doesn't look
Radiant's
overly
bottom tower
scared.
is under
Coming forward
attack.
again, there's going to be another Astral coming through onto the Undyne. The Undyne losing a whole lot of mana there, which obviously he wants for. He can get 3 decays off, and that's pretty much it if he does try and do something with all of this missing mana.
We'll see how that looks. I'm looking at BetBoom, and yeah, they're slowing things down. They gave the book to the Clockwork, and Save is gonna be the one that's gonna be waiting for his level 6 on the Sharpshooter. So currently, BetBoom, they're happy with it just going slightly slower, but just in a couple of seconds, maybe 1 minute or so, they're gonna start going aggressively. Because what you want with BetBoom is to get kills over and over again. If Nemiga are missing heroes, they can't push in the lanes, and BetBoom's heroes don't deal great with that one. They have the Dawnbreaker, but you kind of want to use that hero offensively.
Do you remember when Cinder? Oh, bottom lane. We'll take a look in a minute because the Phantasm isn't going to come out and save. Trying to use that first strike shot. Starbreaker. They're going to be able to get the kill. The Sprout comes up, but Nightfall still going to be able to chase. Tombstone going to be dropped, but it looks like Vizia. He's going to be able to get himself out safe, and yeah, Nightfall using that piggy pole to get himself
Dire's
away from
bottom
the
tower
Tombstone.
is under
He
attack.
didn't have the Starbreaker when he came in. He just used it on the creeps. So, you know, it's what gave the Nature's Prophet the chance to live there. I liked Vazia's idea. He was going to the cliff, wanted to push himself down with the Sprout. Didn't manage to do so, but he did push himself far enough to the left to be able to save himself. So, that's a death averted, and now without the Solar Guardian, it's timing for Nemiga to put a foot on the gas yet again. Just fast, speed, all time on the map. If you're not losing heroes, you actually have a chance in this game.
Yeah, and you can see the bottom lane, there's a TP from Vazia. He tries to get the Sprouts out, but obviously the Scurry coming through from the Hoodwink means that he can move through the Sprout trees. And it just means, well, I mean, the trains were there to do a little bit of damage to the tier 1, but it just means that Hoodwink was able to get away alive there, save, you know, 1, 3, and 5. So not having the greatest game, but it does mean that he doesn't get picked off once again. And Vazia just goes straight back to that top lane, looking to finish off the Ags. He's about 800 gold away from fully completing onto that, so Nature's Prophet. Once that does come out, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see NP rotating around, looking to get really aggressive with the Wrath of Nature.
It's all about pushing the lanes in, not allowing BetBoom to find the openings. That's why BetBoom are getting more and more items to be able to initiate. OD going for a first item, Blink Dagger. He wants to be able to start the fight. When you have a Blink and then Ags, you can hold a hero in for 8 seconds. And you're gonna be able to catch him, and that's kind of what BetBoom will need in this game, because they're not gonna have a positioning advantage even when they're ahead.
Yeah, and from previous matches that we've seen in BetBoom, they are so good at just avoiding these fights and taking fights in their own time. So like you say, itemizing towards that now, having that ability to engage when you want to. They do have heroes that, you know, they have ways of getting out or protecting themselves while the rest of the team do rotate to look for the engage. This train here, it's not going to see the smoke, so Vazia could be in a whole world of hurt. Yeah, this ward will see him because of the cut trees, and Vazia moving himself around, but he's still going to be under vision. Now the blink comes forward. He's going to be the Absalom Prism, and they're going to be setting up for that hook shot. It looks like the Clockwork not actually going to be going for it. Waiting to see if anyone responds, and they do get the kill onto Vazia as Toronto Tokyo still moving around in this smoke.
We all have that one friend that isn't really good at hide and seek. I'm hiding right now, and he's just in plain sight. The ward does expire immediately. Toronto Tokyo is caught Kiritich. It's the other way around for sure. He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those, another friend that might have been bad at hide and seek there, just being sought when he didn't want to be found, and gave over a free kill to the Chaos Knight.
Yep, that's a nice one. I think Nightfall was contemplating if he goes there, but they didn't see enough on the map, so you don't want to risk it. If the lanes are being pushed in by BetBoom, they're happy. At some point, what they want to do is find that dive on probably on the bottom lane to get the tower down. And you don't want to be risking your big spells for kills that you probably won't get, so that you won't have him for that situation. So that's why Nightfall is now gonna be very careful when he uses the Solar Guardian.
Yeah, but you can see the EGB odds on screen here. The Nemiga,
middle tower
the
is
odds have
under
actually
attack.
decreased. So BetBoom, the clear favorites at the minute, and Vizio didn't go for the Astral Prism to try and set up. Save's gonna be here, but spell. That pushback. That's the exact setup that I was talking about in the draft, and now with Solar Guardian coming through, GPK sets up for the kill, but it might not be done just yet here. And GPK roll, but it's gonna be there as well. So the drag back with that reality, it's so bad. He does secure that kill, but Kiritich setting up with the drag back, and now the Chaos Ball. There's gonna be another drag back as well. The hook shot comes through. They have that stun the backline to LSA as well. There's a good way that Maureen's gonna go down. Great rotation in, and now on top of Kiritich trying to drag him in with the reality rip. The LSA tent again, and
gonna crush
the
that.
death of the Chaos Knight. Hellscream, he might be the next one to burn from Lena's fire. Pure gets himself the mega kill with the triple. Is it gonna be a quad kill? The ultra does come out there. Pure stacking up the kills.
What BetBoom do really well is baiting you to come into an area they want you to fight at. So when the outposts and this high ground in the enemy jungle was introduced, it made sure that you're not just trading jungles. If you remember, like the old days of Dota, it was just trading jungles. But then Ice Rock, he puts this high ground, he puts the outpost, and suddenly you can protect your big jungle a little bit easier. And you don't want to be fighting on the low ground. That's why with BetBoom, they go for a yank, just a pick off on the low ground, and they get caught. It's time to run, right? Nemiga, they could have gotten one or two kills and gotten themselves out, but they got greedy. They went to the high ground, and at the high ground, Pure was waiting. And I'm so happy that every single game, Pure is a part of those fights exactly on the place where he needs to be. And this is where the game gets broken, because no part of the map is now safe for Nemiga. Of course, they get themselves together, they get the tower, but it's gonna be very hard to hold even the top part of the map now when BetBoom has so many wards there.
Yeah, and look at this as well. You see that Vizio TPs himself to the top lane to try and push it out and immediately save his way to Vizio. He just gets taken. It takes a lot of damage coming through from that sharpshooter. Prophet trying to do what he can. So he's just going to stand and regen underneath the tower with the living armor as well. So he does have a decent amount of regen being offered to him. But that was a position for Hoodwink that did nearly 2/3 of the naked Prophet damage to his health.
That's just what the hero does. Yeah, you can't really be too mad about that one. Finally, I think with the complete overtaking of the top lane, pushing Nemiga out for the time being, when Nemiga has to get that back into their favor, this is where BetBoom finally gets the tower on the bottom lane. I'm looking at Nemiga and I'm thinking, are they gonna defend this? Do they have the capabilities to do so? Or maybe BetBoom don't even have the guts to go for it. I'm kind of weirded out that BetBoom aren't ready to break the status quo. To me, it looks like they have the necessary items currently to do so. The one thing they could be waiting for is the Axe and the OD.
Radiant's bottom tower's got
about 600 gold from completion, but you would have thought, going for that tower, just getting that little bit extra gold, that little bit quicker towards that Axe, but he's not going to be too far away from it anyway. The creeps are going to be doing damage through that living armor as well.
Rack it up.
It's 4 points in living armor, so there is a decent amount to stay, but eventually, if it carries on going on this, the creeps will get hurt. While this is going on though, Nemiga, they're going into the roach pit, and yeah. Do they respond to this? It doesn't look like they do. Nope.
They don't care. Like, take it, but they need to take a tower while this is happening. GPK is here on it. The mid lane tower isn't taking that much damage as well. Nemiga are super happy with this BetBoom. They've slowed things down too much. I understand that Nemiga wants speed, but you also should be taking something when it's offered to you. And finally, Pure, it seems like he's gonna be going towards the bottom lane. Yeah, he's the best tower taker for sure, and has a BKB to keep himself alive.
Yeah, he even moved himself up because there is going to be the fortification coming through. So moving himself back, just trying to build up these stacks again with the LSA, the Dragon Slave, build up that attack speed and movement speed. But he doesn't actually go back towards the tier 1 tower. It actually looks like the scouting through the Radiant jungle looking for a kill, and Pure just continuing to farm at the minute. So this tier 1 tower on the bottom lane, it still stands 239 health and looking up. As Vizio in the dire jungle, he's looking for his farm as well. He's got that axe as well, so he's using that on the reduced cooldown just to clear off the waves and push these lanes out.
Considering that Nemiga are controlling most of the map, it's really bad for them to go to the
Radiant
areas
have
that they
fortified their
can. That's the
structures.
bottom. So I'm very
cracks in
surprised that
Dire's
BetBoom
top
didn't commit a little bit more on that tower. Given that Nemiga, the chances that they're even gonna try to
Dire's
defend
top
are
tower
very
is under
limited.
attack.
The big thing for me though is
Not much
Blink Dagger
good's
on
happening to
Kirin. That
Radiant's bottom
allows
tower.
Nemiga to blink in and destroy here, especially
top
the OD.
tower
If he
is
can start the
gone.
fight with the OD going down, everything could go well.
But Maori, he's going to be trying to get himself away from this one as well. The wall is slipping now. Got Maori, the hookshot comes through, Save gets the kill. He's going to launch inside the cost, but the overzone's going to be used. He might be able to get the kill to save as the Laguna Blade onto Heritage. He does have that agent, but they're going to be able to pop him once. Can they do it twice? In fact, no. They can't even take him down. Yeah, some great armor toggle as well. He does get out alive, and they didn't commit for the kill. Lost both supports to BetBoom, so they didn't want to overdive,
beating on
overstay the
Dire's top
welcome, and
tower.
Heritage gets out alive.
Both teams are very good at starting off the fight and murdering someone the instant the fight starts.
Yeah.
So when it doesn't happen and you've initiated, you lost your positioning advantage. That's what happened to BetBoom. They used both of their supports. Malrine didn't immediately die. He has the roll up. He has the rolling thunder. He does die inside of it without even using the BKB, but it's not that good because your supports are out of position. They get easily cleared out, and then it's very hard for the cores to really position themselves all that great in the fight, and thus BetBoom have to pull out.
Yeah, and you can see the Undying, instead of trying to max out onto that Tombstone as well, he's gone for the 4 points into the Soul Rip. He's got the mechanism up. He's going towards I assume the Greaves at some point as well. So he's offering that survivability, offering the sustain, and it's something that I think Hellscream with the living armor as well as the leech seed in these group fights are going to be really nice as well. But it's something that other teams do. I know they're trying to out-sustain, they're trying to outlast in these teams. Fights out Aura as Heritage does get the kill on Toronto Tokyo. Nightfall forced to use that BKB there as well. That is going to be the 9-second fresh BKB.
That's a gem. That's a gem that Toronto Tokyo just gave away.
Oh,
He
no.
was just coming out of his base. He just bought it.
Dire's top
Oh,
tower
they're
is
going
under
to jump into
attack.
Vizzy. Vizzy gets caught out. 3 heroes around, and he's going to be cleaned up. Really nice gang squad coming out from BetBoom. But yeah, to my point just before that, this is something that you see some of the better teams do, that Nemiga are doing. They're just looking to out-sustain in these fights. Keep themselves alive longer so they can take these hero picks and force out BetBoom to either overcommit or just back off and take the victory that they do get, the support kills, or if they get one, like 2-to-1 pickoffs, it's still a 2-to-1 trade for Nemiga, or a 1-to-0, something like that. It's still a positive trade for Nemiga.
You are countering the burst potential of the enemies. You're making sure that all of your heroes use their spells. And considering that Nemiga will always have the positioning advantage just because of the Nature's
Radiant's
Prophet
bottom
pushing in
tower
the
is
waves,
under attack.
and BetBoom will have the vision advantage. BetBoom initiates with better vision, but worse positioning, and you keep that one hero alive.
Yeah.
So then you still have better positioning, and now you have vision, and you have 5 of your heroes. So I like it. I think it's the right approach from so bad, especially because the Tombstone really is going to be taken down very easily by Delina.
Yeah, he's actually... Does he have the... it's the gem on the courier, so he's looking to maybe do a bit of de-warding with the courier, just scouting out so bad. I'm surprised that he's not actually finishing off the full Greaves, and he's going into the Glimmer Cape's going to be nice as well, offering that extra little protection. And I suppose all the Greaves, it combines it frees up a slot, that's the major benefit. The Purge, stuff like that, who needs it? Have that extra slot. That's what's really at.
For the effort.
I'd like the Force Staff. I'd really like the Force Staff for one of the heroes on Nemiga. I think that's something that they're lacking. Because without the Force Staff, all the heals in the world at some point aren't going to be enough when BetBoom initiates. And if you have a Force Staff plus the heals, then you're going to be keeping that one hero alive.
Yeah. Smoke coming through from both sides, actually. 3-man smoke from both sides. So on the top lane, it looks like BetBoom looking towards Vizzy, but now the Rolling Thunder is going to come through and Pure. Oh, he's going to be caught out. 3 heroes locking him down, killing him off.
Look, I told you
It's
I'm
going to
not
be 2 heroes dying around the map, but Nemiga are going to be happier with it. First of all, their Nature's Prophet is not as farmed as Pure is. Second of all, he's going to be able to get out on the map very, very soon, whereas Pure, he does have the boots of travel, but he's going to be focusing a little bit more on farm. And you see immediately Pure, he has finished off the Satanic, but he understands, I die with it. I need something to stop this blink stun if I cannot react in time.
Yeah, and so he is going to be going back for that Lincoln's. As we can see, Dawnbreaker on the bottom lane, just hiding in the trees, maybe looking for a jump because GPK is well saved. He's TPing down here, and Malrein's going to show. The Swashbuckle comes out, Shield Crash, immediately blinks into the trees. And Nightfall, Malrein's going to go for the TP. Spidey senses are tingling, and he doesn't want to be caught out, so he just immediately moves to the top lane.
Usually you can tell where someone blinked, but because there's a swashbuckle, you can't really see the turn rate, and then you don't know exactly where he is. Has he gone back? Has he gone in the trees? Nightfall had no idea that that Malrein was right next to him.
He's going to be spotted though. There is that ward on the cliff giving vision, so there's going to be blink in the bush comes out. They're going to be able to get the lockdown. Even the Solar Guardian, it's not going to be needed, but still committed there to get the kill onto Vazia.
Interesting.
This is a much better kill than the last one, not only because Pure didn't die, but because it's on the enemy side of the map. That's the main thing. And I think Vazia, looking at this game, he should never be on this side of the map because that's the worst place to die. BetBoom, it's not like they can take towers that fast until they have the Deso on the Dawn. Okay, they have the Deso on the Dawn. How is Nightfall so farmed? Like, what the hell? He didn't have it a second ago, but now it's done. And overall, now it's a little bit different. Now you're gonna have to push out those lanes. But I think the Nature's Prophet should never, if he's close to his own base or closer to his own base, just let the treants go. Do not show yourself. Do not attack creeps. Hide in the trees. On the top lane, on the closer to the enemy base, that is where you can hide.
Not much good's happening to Radiant's bottom tower.
We'll see what they want to do here because Nemiga putting pressure onto the tier 3. Coming through with the creeps of Swashbuckle there as well. He's going to be taking some damage, but it's only going to be a couple of creeps that are left, and then immediately Malrein TPs into the mid lane here. So 27 minutes in, it's only a 5k net worth lead for BetBoom, so Nemiga doing a really good job at keeping this game even. Save though, he's in the trees, he's looking for another jump. Is he going to be able to get himself on top? Rolling Thunder though, going to be coming in and immediately the blinking on top of GPK. Can they get anything from this Toronto Tokyo? Trying to do his but it's still going to be, the cogs being dropped on the back lines. The heals comes through, the break from the Sharpshooter onto the Undying, but he does have that mechanism to heal himself up as well as the Soul Rip if he needs it. And it looks like they did force out a Rolling Thunder, but Nemiga not overcommitted, not sure. I mean, look at the Treant as well. He didn't want to TP in, he wants to keep this pressure onto the top tier 3. So Elijah wasn't there as well. And the hook shot, it comes through. They have the lockdown as well. Kiritic is going to go for the BKB, the drive back with the reality. He's just going to go for TP. The
gonna get smashed.
Have it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh man, once the Lina was coming in, I was getting afraid. But of course, having the Maelstrom and the Lina still does a lot of her damage coming out from magic. So with the BKB, it is a problem. But that's a 9-second BKB just down the drain for the CK. Still, you know, living. It's much better. Toronto Tokyo, slight mistake there. Maybe could have used the power cogs to push him back and extend the stun. But either way, I think the CK lives through that one. But it does give a big deal to BetBoom, and that is going into the Roche. Nemiga, no Rolling Thunder, no BKB on the CK. Their ability to defend this one, it's
Did you see the post on Reddit about the OD doing the 9-minute Roshan with just the Shadow Amulet? How long before we see that in pro matches?
I don't think we do, because OD is a very big positioning hero, right? And 9 minutes in, if you're missing off the map, everyone is gonna know something is the issue.
Look at that.
The hook, it came up, but Sobat turns himself around there. He's going to lose his career, but he's not going to lose his life. It looks like, oh, maybe. I mean, the setup's going to be coming through Solar Guardian into the Sharpshooter. So at least the tree will be cut down. But yeah, Sobat gets himself out alive. Even drops a tombstone, but Pure will be able to just farm that one up.
Nemiga are still controlling the map, but BetBoom are getting stronger, and this is what I meant when I said slowing down the game. The items for BetBoom will allow them to do so much. You can see that Nemiga would like to pressure the top lane and force TPs, but they cannot show heroes, because you're up against the OD with an axe. That is 8 seconds, you're staying in place, or you're losing your BKB or the Rolling Thunder. And if you show yourself on the top lane, he TPs in, he astrals you, and then you make a decision, am I throwing away my spell or am I dying? And this threat is giving BetBoom the chance to just go around the map, and they don't care about the top lane. They don't care that their tier 2 went down. They are taking some chip damage on the tier 3, but it's not like their axes are gonna fall anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, they are going to be able to say put pressure onto the T2 Pure, doing all right and taking the towers even through the living armor. He's going to be able to build up his stats as well. The Dragon Slave onto the creep wave and just be able to clear off with the Maelstrom. So At some
Radiant's
point,
bottom tower's
we've
got
seen
problems.
most laners, they build that into a Glepnir, but at the minute he wants that survivability with the Satanic. Ultimate Orbs as well
Radiant's
for the
bottom
Lincoln, which is
tower
going to be
has
delivered.
fallen.
So that extra bit of survivability, I wouldn't be surprised now to see him. I mean, he might keep the Falcon's Blade because he has that slot with Aegis, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him go into the Glepnir next.
Yeah, he might do it. Yeah, there it is. It's it does make sense. You want that item next. It's really tough to deal with it. Also, you're up against CK illusions, so even if the CK uses the BKB himself, at least you're gonna be controlling his illusions, saving your team for the time being. So it does make sense. Plus, it's a really strong meta item.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
As well as being really hard to pronounce for whatever reason. Valve, they like the Norse names for their items coming through the Maelstrom, the Lonya and the Glepnir. You have to get really, it has to come from the throat, that one.
Okay, if you say so. I mean, you are the one whose mother tongue, is English.
I'm not Nordic though. It is a.
No, I'm saying English. English is, but it's still. You could still say they're not really English words, but they're actively used in the English language. Anyways, with that being said, BetBoom, they're going for a smoke. They have finally managed to break the bottom tier 2, and this is where the game becomes easier for them because it's Nemiga that have to deal with the bottom lane, and then they're free to go around the map and gank.
He'll save. He's going to try and get in as well. He does get the pushback off into the nature bar for NP. He doesn't pop the BKB. It's going to be coming out now. So regarding now, but the right click damage from Pure. They have it. They have the lockdown, and you get the kill on Magia. They're even going to be able to pick up the kill onto Hellscream.
And that's how you start a forest.
The lack of force staffs is really hurting them. Really hurting them in this game. I don't know how they can play without them. I think Blink Dagger on Detriant, the Glimmer on the Undying were complete miss of items. You cannot mount up a fight any longer if you're Nemiga. It has gotten to that point.
Under attack.
Yeah, it does look like the Undying in terms of items. He might be looking for one now. In fact, no, it's going to be the Holy Locket coming up. I just saw the fluffy hat. I was like, okay, cool. So he's going to be building for the Force Staff next, but it's not. It's actually going to be the extra heal coming out here from the Undying with that Holy Locket.
So currently, if you're Nemiga, you're still okay at pushing out the waves. Obviously, that part of your strength is not as powerful as it used to be. I think the thing they have to find now is for them to have the initiation. They haven't been able to find many of those in the game, but that is what has to happen. So once Pure doesn't have his Aegis any longer, you have to go for it. But even if he does, but you need to see him.
Yeah, and Pure, I mean, the Rolling Thunder did come through, but Marin all he's going to be able to do is get a little bit of disruption off and then straight back to the high ground here. And it looks like Pure, he's just going to sit on that front line. He's just going to be able to put pressure again onto this tier 2. Hellscream's going to be close. Pack Alive now, looking for that overgrowth if anyone steps up, but it looks like BetBoom, even with the Aegis, they don't want to overcommit. They want to play it safe. They've got the Glepnir out. They've got that extra control, so that could force a couple of BKBs, but Lena maybe looking for the Daedalus before they go into that next big fight here from the side of BetBoom.
And they're going for it right now. I think what they're trying to do is BetBoom want to be the ones that are initiating when they don't have the Aegis. So that's why even without the Rolling Thunder being active, they don't go for that tier 2 in the mid lane. Because if they're getting initiated on, there is still a chance that they can win a fight.
They've got to kill onto the Chaos Knight.
Twice in a row on the same play, so this time around he doesn't get anything off considering that the Bushwhack does connect.
Dire's middle tower isn't
Hellscream, he's going to go for the TP away, and yeah, this Bushwhack, I mean, save has been on point here. Again, from the draft, we said that BetBoom, all of these heroes, they are amazingly comfortable on, and the fact that Nemiga gave them every single one over to the side of BetBoom, it surprises me that Nemiga didn't at least ban out the Crossbow, ban out the Lena, or even take away the Hoodwink.
Radiant's middle tower could use some
You
help.
probably feel like BetBoom are gonna be performing in terms of mechanical skill amazingly no matter what they play. So just let them have everything if you have a tactical idea of how to deal with it. But yeah, you're completely right. BetBoom, it's very hard to win against the team when they're hitting all of their spells, and BetBoom has been doing that for the most of the DPC. But still, it doesn't mean that they're unbeatable. It just seems that they're in good form right now. What I'm afraid for BetBoom is when they get to the international stage, what happens if you start yourself? What happens if you're forced in situations where missing your spells is something that should be expected.
Dire's bottom tower is being
what should be
stripped away.
dangerous. I've seen so many teams like be so strong mechanically, but they're not crushing the games, and I think that's kind of the case with BetBoom. They're winning. Some games they crush in 15 minutes, but these 14-minute games, they usually take a long time. I'm very afraid for them for the international stage. That's why I can't wait for the majors to start to really see how powerful this team is.
Yeah, I think we've seen a good couple of games where BetBoom won in the driver's seat, and the steady format against OneBoom comes to mind, where OneBoom were looking very strong for the majority of that game, and BetBoom
Dire's bottom tower needs some help.
back, you know, to sort out with the really good bit of that. And now it's he's just gonna go for that BKB out and nothing to disrupt. Even there's gonna be a double down in the river if he gets this one out. It looks like he's hunting for more.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So that's TP, so it looks like he's going to try and put pressure on these catapults to the tier 1 tower on bot, but that could be his doom as GPK. He doesn't have the blink, so it's
Radiant's
not
top
going to
tower
look like that
deserves
factually.
just as much help as bottom.
Still, Nemiga, they're so desperate to
Radiant's
start the
top
fight.
tower has fallen.
This game is pretty much over. Considering that their lineup, the way that it should work, it just doesn't have the capabilities to
Radiant's
work
top
that
tower
way any
deserves
longer. We
just
talked
as much
about
help as bottom.
Nemiga are gonna be controlling the waves. Okay, Baze is dead again.
Yeah, he doesn't have that BKB. The Solar Guardian comes
Own it.
in and Vazi goes back in the box.
Yeah, but coming back to the point, so BetBoom, better vision with the clockwork, Nemiga, better lane control, and now you don't have the lane control, so that part of your lineup is gone. You're 23,000 gold behind. Your heroes aren't massively better in a team fight than the opponents, so at this point this game looks very impossible to lose for BetBoom unless they slow it down long enough for the ultra late game to come, and then they make a massive mistake. It's very unlikely to expect something from like that from them.
Yeah, now as well, Pure. He has a bottle of double damage and he has the Daedalus coming out as well. Roshan is going to be up, even though the Witch Blade, the Witch Bane being dropped. And this is going to be Roshan 37 seconds away. He's only had that rune bottle for about 30 seconds as well. So this is going to be really nice timing on the Rosh. If BetBoom maybe find a pick off first, you know, to create space for them inside this Rosh pit, but it is getting ever closer, and Nemiga, they need to be aware of this Rosh timing potentially coming up and having a plan to maybe try and contest into this.
I'm looking at their heroes and I'm trying to find a way how they can do it, because they can't really get the vision into the pit. I think maybe with an HS
Well, Sanity's Eclipse gets dropped and Marin gets dropped there as well, following up really nice jump in from Toronto Tokyo to get that hook in, and GPK just secures the kill, and that will be 64 seconds without the Pangolier. When Roche is up now, Lena all ready for it with his double damage unit if he wants to pop it. Even holding on to the Penta Edge for extra damage here on this Lena.
I really like the vision.
Wilson's down.
You know, it's not super deep,
This
because you
fire will
want to see
never go
when
out.
the enemies are trying to cross the river, you know, be a little bit cheeky. In the side lanes, you know you can catch them there if you get vision, and it has to all come from the mid lane. So you're just dispersing from the mid lane and catching them one by one. You know that Nemiga are not all going to be together, so you need control of the mid part of the map, and then when you see someone trying to be annoying, push out the side lane or something like that, then you jump fast.
Snow fortified.
Toronto Tokyo Hellscream will see him, so Toronto Tokyo might go down, drops his cogs, and he will be dropped himself here. But meanwhile, in the mid lane, Pure, he pops that double damage rune. The living armor goes
Dire's
off
bottom
onto the
tower
tier
is
3
being
tower. He just
chipped
says living
away.
armor, what living armor? And just chunks through so much of it in about 4 or 5 hits.
Did he just buy the
Radiant's top
bottle?
tower has looked better.
Because no one had a bottle on his
Yeah,
side.
GPK
so,
didn't have one, yeah.
Yeah, so he bought it there. They were all the time they were looking at that DD but didn't want to pick it up, and that was because he was waiting for the bottle. So 650 investment, and it's actually good in this part of the game because you want those DDs. You want to be able to use them at the right point.
So we'll see how they want to play around this now as well. The vision, they don't have it up the hill here in Amiga.
Now or never. No clockwork. It should go. Nemiga. They're trying to find the initiation.
Dire's
Smoke's
courier
going to break though. The
has
Hex
been
comes
killed.
out and immediately GPK he gets that blink away, so they weren't able to get the drag back Tombstone. It was dropped. Pure is going to be coming onto the back line, so you can see the courier takes it down this creep wave. Rolling Thunder comes down. But he has this agent. They're going to be able to get the grab onto Maori. He's rolling. Sharpshooter comes out. Maori with that roll into the Rolling Thunder now as well. The good blade comes out. They get the catch onto Bazia. And Prophet, he's holding on to this BKB for dear life, and it could be his dear life if he throws it out too early. And we can try and go for the re-engage as well. The Rolling Thunder does come out now as well. Pure. Up to the high ground. He's just saying, come at us, bro. And on the back line, Toronto, Tokyo. He drops the cards. Now Maori on the fucking connects. Even through the swashbuckle, this guy gets closed. And so does Maori's life. They get the kill onto the Pango. He's dead for 70. Has that buyback, but no Rolling Thunder now for at least the next 20 seconds or so.
And I really like how the Lina can't even move with all over 7 party souls through the Nature's Grasp and the Curse of the Old Growth from the Nature's Prophet. He literally is not moving, but it doesn't change anything. I think as soon as the clockwork came back to life, Nemiga needed to click to their base. Like, we're not fighting here any longer. But I guess you came to a point in the game where you probably think, Pure, he steps onto our high ground, we can't do anything, so let's just put all we have in this one. So I can't really blame them for that decision.
They get the kill on the Hellscream. Where's that gem? They get the dust reveal now as well. Hellscream in the trees, looking for that TP away. Toronto, Tokyo, no, he gets the battery assault. Hellscream, he tries to get himself away with the oversealed totem, but the hook shot comes out. Hellscream, he might just go down. Toronto, Tokyo looking for a solo kill. Well, I say solo kill. Save is coming in. The sharpshooter's going to get off the back. Hellscream, he doesn't have the TP. Overgrowth comes out. Bushwhack. It's not going to connect, or he does. He gets the long one out, and that's going to be the boomerang. And Save secures that kill. While that's going on, they are going to be able to take another set of racks here on the side of the metro.
Being surrounded by brothers, you think you're safe, but you know, one of them just gets used against you. I mean,
he's a tree himself. The Bushwhack should connect onto him, and any heroes around the tree should be Bushwhacked to him. Like, he should still be able to move away, but he is a tree. That Bushwhack should connect.
Okay, so Rob is definitely not gonna get hired to write code of Dota, because that would be pretty unfortunate.
It's like when Cinderbrew used to proc on all the fire spells in the game. As far as he pops the BKB, Nightfall gets the jump in, and Pure, yeah, they're gonna just go back and security now. They might get the kill to save. It is gonna be now or never. That Butch and Sundance time from Alpha Nemiga in this first game, and it looks like GPK. And it's gonna be the ending that we don't see on the Sundance edit.
I'm not always obedient.
They're just being smacked right now. Nemiga at this point, they have no shot. BetBoom have overtaken this game. They still have the Aegis, and it's just Nemiga not wanting to call GG because they want to make BetBoom work for it.
With that BKB, Nightfall going to be able to get the jump, and that's just going to be Keratin back in the box. Pure does secure that kill. Backlines Maureen, he's trying to get himself away from Toronto, Tokyo. Okay, Plurge does push through to Maureen. There's going to be the jump in though, and Nightfall, he takes that kill. Nemiga to buy him back for this. You want to try and stretch this game for as long as possible, it seems, but I don't see it going any other way than Pure just snap up, keep the case here, so they are going to be able to take this pace out. And
Radiant fortification.
Big wrap around. Here's ditching vibes here. Look at that backstab. And they get the spread out onto the clockwork now as well. Kongs get dropped. He just means the Keratin. He's trapped in. And they're going to be able to finish it off the Chaos Knight one more time. The game is going to be over here. It's Pure. GG's get called.
Yeah, Nemiga show us only losers give up. They weren't gonna call GG until it was absolutely over. Just going for BetBoom over and over again, even if it means that their face gets smashed in like that over and over again. But yeah, in the end, BetBoom will get the victory. It's gonna be another long game. BetBoom have the longest average game time, around 45 minutes here in the Eastern Europe, and their games are a joy.